Today we're going to take a look at the Peterson Luminex LED trailer tail light kit. This is going to give us our stop, tail, turn, and backup signals. This is going to have an oval design with a red and clear lens. So you can see we'll have our light with that red lens and then our little Cyclops light there for our backup signal. That's going to give us that clear lens over that last diode there to provide the light for our backup. We'll also have a PVC grommet to go around our light that gives it a little bit more shock protection and just kind of cleans up the look of the light overall. It's going to have a nice flex to it that just goes over the back of our light. And then we'll also have two harnesses to go with our light itself. These are going to be industry standard AMP style plugs, and we'll have our smaller connection here. This is going to be our blue wire. That's going to be for the reverse signal or backup signal. Just press that into place, and you'll notice on this one and our larger wiring there'll be this little grommet. That's going to give it a little weather protection, so we don't have to worry about any water, dust, and debris from getting into our connections and causing any issues down the line. Of course, it's never a bad idea to put a little bit of dielectric grease in there just to increase the longevity of your lights, but with that grommet you almost don't even need it. If you want to pick up some dielectric grease, we do have that available here at etrailer.com. And something I like about these wiring is this wiring style is that it clips over there and it's going to hold really securely on our light. This larger clip is actually kind of tricky to get off. I was having to pry pretty hard on it to get it to come off, but it does eventually. And I'm going to connect this up to a power source here so we can get an idea of how bright this is going to be. Of course, the white wire with that ring terminal, it's going to be a number 10 ring terminal already installed. That's going to be our ground. The black wire will be our tail light or running light signal. Turn that on, so our light will come on. And then our red wire will be our stop and turn signals. See, it's going to be much brighter there. And our blue wire, again, will give us that reverse signal. So it's going to give us that bright white light that we need to see what's going on behind us. And that does also work with our brakes or our turn signal if we ever would need all those at once. Go ahead and turn the lights out in the studio here so you can get a better idea of just how bright that's going to be. That white light is going to give us a lot of light to illuminate behind our trailer, especially if we're working in the dark. And our brake or turn signal, again, it's going to meet all DOT requirements. It's going to meet FMVS 108 requirements for automotive lighting. Turn our lights back on in the studio, and let's go over some measurements with this. Now, one thing again to keep in mind with this, it is going to be an LED light, so that means it's going to be a lot longer lasting than your incandescent bulbs. We don't have to worry about anything burning out over time, and LEDs can last up to 50 times longer than your incandescent bulbs. Since there's no brittle filaments that can break and then blow out, there's nothing to replace with this. So that's one less thing to worry about there. There's also surface mount technology with this, so it's going to be better able to withstand any shock or vibration as you're going down the road. Again, that grommet is going to help with that as well. And the SMT construction is also going to give better heat distribution inside the lens, so we don't have to worry about our LEDs burning out. And again, as far as our dimensions, with the grommet in place, it's going to be about 7 3/4 inches long by about 3.5 inches wide. And then going from the front of the light to the back of our harness there, it's going to be about 1 3/4 inches deep. Just the light on its own is going to be 6.5 inches long and 2 1/4 wide by about 1 7/16 deep. Remove our plugs here and measure the leads. Again, that larger harness, it's a little trickier to remove. Not a bad thing, you don't want your wiring to come accidentally disconnected, but there we go. Okay. And then as far as our lead off of our reverse signal or our backup signal, it's going to have about 7 1/4 inches of length there. And then for the rest of our wiring, going to our red and black wire, it's going to be about 8 1/2 inches of wire. And that's going to do it for our look at the Peterson Luminex LED trailer taillight kit. One last thing I do want to mention with this is that it is made in USA.